Hello YouTube. I'm doing a video tonight to review one of my pocket carry pistols. The pistol is a Kahr CW380. It is chambered in 380 ACP, which is pretty much what most folks would consider the smallest acceptable pocket pistol caliber or cartridge. This guy, for me, it's a bit of a mixed bag, so I'll get into that. But what is the CW380 is basically for lack of a better word, a budget version of the Kahr P380. In this case, Kahr put out a version of their 380 for their pocket pistol that is much less expensive than the P380. If anyone's familiar with that. Basically, the difference being the barrel is has conventional rifling in the CW380. In the P380, it's polygonal rifling. Some of the parts on this one is like, I guess, the slide stop, takedown lever or takedown pin, and potentially the trigger are mimmed and not machined. And I think that's it for the big ones, but yeah, oh yeah, that's the other thing. I think the P380 has laser etchings in the slide rather than these roll marks or stamp marks that the Kahr has. So really, what it boils down to, I think you save a couple $100, and I think you only get one magazine with the CW version. With the P, you get at least two, I believe. But anyway, there's a couple differences out there. This is a very nice economical version if you're looking for a Kahr. As you can see, safety check, nothing in the chamber, and that's it. So yeah, I bought this about 8 months ago, looking for a better 380 pocket pistol than what I already had. I had been carrying a Bodyguard, M&P Bodyguard, in that for a while. I don't hate that pistol, but it's a bear to shoot. Trigger is horrible in that one. It is not fun to shoot at the range at all. So even with these smaller pistols, I want to be able to not force myself to shoot them at the range. I want to take them to the range and have fun shooting it, so I can practice with them and get kind of comfortable with them. The Bodyguard was not that. I'm probably gonna keep the Bodyguard regardless of what I do with this one, as kind of a backup pocket pistol, because I like to have two pistols as for either purpose as far as a backup goes. Because if something happens where it gets stolen, or it needs to go back for service, or it's in a shop or something at a gunsmith, I'd want to have that secondary option for that same purpose. So that was the other reason I bought the Kahr, because I wanted to have a second 380 to kind of have my primary pocket carry pistol and the backup. So yeah, so what is the good about this? The good is this pistol is crazy small. It is very small and it's very light. Let's see if I just throw it on the scale here since I have it. I'll pop in the magazine. Again, this is not stock internals, but 11.6 ounces unloaded with the magazine. And this is this magazine, it probably doesn't weigh much more than the stock one, but it does have a Pierce grip finger extension, and it does have a Mag Guts kit in it. So yeah, it's a crazy small package. With the Pierce grip, I can get my full hand on the grip itself, right? So it is, when I was looking at this, and again, the one difference that this one has, this does have a front night sight that I bought stock like that. Bought this from Buds back in, had it on layaway there, so I probably put it on layaway last September sometime. By the time I got it home with transfer shipping and everything, it was $373. So yeah, I was so stoked when I got this, and right out of the get-go when I first started shooting it, the manual will tell you you need to put 250 rounds through it to break it in. So I thought, yeah, that's not a big deal. So I went out, forced myself to go through it. I went and bought 100 rounds of Perfecta 380 ball ammo, and I bought 100 rounds of PMC ball ammo. Took it to the range and started to shoot it. And, you know, I was having some issues with, you know, what I thought was, you know, the break-in period. The rounds didn't want to chamber and some of this other stuff. But I also quickly found out that the Perfecta ammo, which is, as well, it's basically a rebranded Fiocchi ammo. Those cases would not extract. I don't know what it is about the case itself, but there was something about the geometry of the case around the rim, and I believe you're not really going to be able to see it, but I think because of the way the extractor is in this, the extractor is very short, and has a it doesn't look like there's a big space in there, but of course there's nothing in here. So this is kind of a bad example. I do have a snap cap here. Let's see if I can get it in and get a sense of what I'm trying to talk about here. So I don't know. It looks to me, it's kind of hard to see, and I'm not going to be able to show this on film, on the camera, I'm sure. But it looks like the extractor doesn't really get a good grip on the case itself. And I'm guessing that there's just something about the Perfecta, the Fiocchi brass, that the extractor wasn't unable to really grip it well at all. So what would happen, you would shoot, the case would expand in the chamber, and basically the brass would be like fully stuck in the chamber itself. I'd have to pull out a pocket knife to kind of pull it out. You know, and that wasn't a break-in period thing either. You know, since I've had it, I've been keeping good track of the rounds I put through it. I put 410 rounds in it, checked online. That's kind of a known problem with this pistol, is that that brass, whatever that Fiocchi Perfecta brass is, these guns hate it. Again, I kind of think it looks like it's something to do with the extractor and the way the geometry of the extractor itself is. But you know, it's just one of those things, I guess. The other thing that I really didn't really trust too much about this pistol, and it might be coming down to, I hope it's not the mag guts, or it might have been a lubrication issue on my part, but I've still continually had issues with that first round when I put it in the, you know, with a full mag, and I go in and I drop the slide or slingshot it. I sometimes have issues where I know with the snap caps I wasn't able to recreate it. Right, if I just drop it, it goes right in. But let's try that again. Try to recreate what I was talking about. Basically, the round would chamber, and the pistol wouldn't go into battery. And with the snap caps, it looks like it just wants to slide right in. But I was getting the case where, you know, it would be stuck like this, right around this configuration, out of battery. So I'd still have to, you know, hit the back. It would all go in. But it just made me not trust it too well. After the break-in period, like I said, I've not really had issues where I would get failure to feeds mid-magazine. I'd get failure to feeds, like I said, when I'm dropping the slide, or if I'm slingshotting the slide with a full magazine. I'm kind of hoping it's not because of maybe some additional spring tension or something with the mag guts followers I have in both of my magazines, or it could have been lubrication. It could be some other little thing, but it's a little finicky. I actually found this magazine today, which is another 7-rounder, which it's kind of not like my other one, which is now an 8-rounder, but I'm going to leave stock, and I'll try to do some more testing with this and see if I can recreate the same problem. But you know, I'm hoping it's not the mag guts stuff, the mag guts kit in the magazines, because, you know, I'm kind of a big fan of this system to, you know, to be able to pocket carry this, you know, have 8+1 in the gun, and then have another 8 rounds in my pocket, you know, as, you know, going out with 16 rounds, and a pocket carry option of 380, which is, to me, it's a pretty decent little option. So that's it. Like I said, the mag guts might be causing a little bit of the issues that I have been seeing with this. I have, since gone out, and I just literally got it a couple of weeks ago. I got a Ruger LCP II that which seems to me it's a pretty awesome option. That guy, right out of the box, I still haven't shot a lot of ammo through it, but it's been flawless since I got it. I 50 rounds. No issues chambering, no failures to feed, no failures to extract, no failures to nothing in the Ruger LCP. This one seems much more temperamental. I guess part of me is thinking because of the tolerances with this thing. You can see, as you shoot it, there. I'm hoping it's going to show up. Yeah, you can see some of the wear marks on the top of the barrel. There's more on the front here as the pistol itself gets broken in. But as you can see, people will complain about I know these have pretty sizable polymer slide rails in here, but people complain about that. However, you can see this does not make this is solid. It does not make any noise. When it's been in lockback position, nothing rattles. Even the barrel is pretty secure in there. Right, you drop it down, there's no real noise, there's no real rattle. One interesting thing I see about this pistol, people will say there's one of the things I kind of really like about it, and the reason why things are so secure, it is a pain in the butt to break down. Let's see if I can get it here. Didn't do this with my fingers like that. Try to push it through. There's these two little lines there you need to line up and pull it through. Nope. Let me grab some tweezers. Try this again. Really, the best option is to line these up. Kind of pry out this bar. Now that I'm on camera, none of this wants to work for me. There you go. Pop that out. Guess I need to pull the trigger. And what do I have done here? There you go. It pops apart. So you can see the breakdown as the guide rod goes flying. Right, so the reason I broke this down, as you see the method, people complain with Kahr having these polymer rails. You can see there's a little bit of steel here. Full length guide rails all are polymer, but as you can see, they do have a little bit of this slide in frame action going on. You can see here, there's actually guide rails on the front here as well. That's what's really making this thing so secure and not being making this rattling noise when you're flipping it around. As you can see here on the slide, right, there's these little grooves on the front. And then there's, guide rails the rest of the way. So that is a pretty interesting little design feature. It makes the thing so, the tolerances seem to be pretty tight for a pistol of this size, of this ilk. Yeah, and like I said, that's the breakdown. Here's the little barrel. The one interesting thing, I'm kind of attributing part of this to the failure to feed with this as well. It's kind of really weird that the feed ramp on the barrel is so thin and so small. There's nothing in the slide. When you look at where it fits down into the frame, where would it go? Kind of like, yeah, right like this. There's a little bit of polymer on the side, so I don't know if maybe even sometimes the way that the rounds are shaped, maybe rather than getting the nice glossy ramp, where it's rubbing up against some of this polymer here, maybe that's something that I should be looking to make sure it's cleaner and maybe even put a little bit of lubrication on it, or maybe it'll be dirty, but it's just one of those funky little things. Yeah, so that's the barrel. Let me get this put back together. My opinion, one of the things I really like about this pistol is the trigger. The trigger is long. It's a long double action trigger, but it is very smooth. It's smooth like butter. There's no stacking. It's not that heavy. It's smooth. It is so smooth. So that's probably the best thing I like about this, is kind of a double action, put in your pocket self-defense gun. Is has that long, good double action trigger feel in this small pistol, but it is so smooth. It's very easy to shoot accurate. The other thing I'd mention about it as well is that the spring, the recoil spring is very heavy in this. I mentioned the bodyguard previously. The bodyguard it's so easy to rack. I know if I gave this to my wife, she wouldn't be able to rack it. You know, it's a very heavy recoil spring, but the benefit of that is that shooting a pistol this small, this light, with a 380 cartridge, a lot of these 380s are snappy, really snappy. The bodyguard is crazy snappy. This is kind of a pleasure to shoot. I have a Burst of Thunder as well, which is it's a blowback 380. It's much bigger, it's much heavier. It's more fun to shoot this than the Bursa, to be honest with you. The Bursa seems like it has more recoil than this, more felt recoil. This is probably, if anyone's familiar with an LCP II, this is kind of familiar with that. The LCP II was a lot of joy to shoot as well, and this one is very similar. Accuracy comparison. Shooting this, I did save a couple of targets here. If I can pull this off, I'll put it to the side for now. Like I said, I recently got the LCP II, and this is at 7 yards, fired 21 rounds. This is an 8x10 sheet of paper, obviously, and this is the first 25 rounds I put through my LCP II. You know, in a 380 small micro pistol like that, I love that. Accuracy is awesome. However, when I compare it to my Kahr, again, same shot right after. You know, obviously this was, you know, after putting about 300 rounds through the Kahr. It's, you know, I'm printing a little high, but that is a much tighter group. I mean, aside from these 3 flyers here, this is 22 rounds and probably about a 3-inch diameter. You know, take that all day long. I think obviously with the way that the LCP resets and the trigger in that, it's probably easier to get shots off quick. But the Kahr, man, I can just be much more accurate with that. Again, this is American Eagle 95 grain ball ammo. Do the same comparison. Here is the LCP II, and this is the Kahr again, and this is with, you know, what I put in these for carry ammo, which is Hornady American Gunner 90 grain XTP hollow points. Again, this is 25 rounds. That's 25 rounds. Nothing to sniff at with either of these, but you know, this is right on there. And I would say this ammo, this 90 grain hollow point American Gunner ammo in this pistol, there's like no recoil. I find the American Eagle stuff is a little hot, but the American Gunner stuff, this is almost like, for a 380 this size, I would dare to say it's a pussycat. It's just, you know, it's so easy to shoot, so great to shoot in this. So yeah, it's, you know, like I said, I got the LCP II, and this is, you know, this was the second set of 25 rounds I put through the LCP II, which is very respectable for a gun I haven't shot much, and I'm still learning the trigger. But yeah, I've bought this. I must say the LCP II is much more fun to shoot. However, I had a lot of fun shooting that. If both of those were on the shelf, a Kahr CW380 and the LCP II, that would have came home with me at the time. You know, I looked at everything was out there. This was a better option than the LCP I, and that's why I went with this. Now that the LCP II is out, if I was looking at both of them on the shelf, this would have stayed on the shelf. I would have got the LCP II. It's that one. I don't know what it is about. It's probably the trigger too. I had a blast shooting that compared to the Kahr. You know, both, even the LCP II with this American Gunner ammo is kind of a pussycat, very easy to shoot. It was a lot of fun, but this was no slouch. So what would I say about the Kahr as far as, you know, should you buy it? I don't know. In my opinion, as I was saying, LCP II pretty much is still a better option, I would think. For one, it's cheaper. You know, this comes with one 6-round magazine. The LCP II comes with one 6-round magazine. From what I can see, these seem to be running about $50 more than what the Ruger is. I guess this does have a stainless slide, which is kind of something that people say you can't get in the LCP II, and it's something that I think a lot of people want. But yeah, all the features other than that, you know, I think this is a great, nice, smooth trigger, but I think the trigger in the LCP II is ultimately better. I think, you know, I haven't done detailed size comparisons, but, you know, the size and weight is pretty much, you know, they're pretty much the same. I was surprised the LCP II, it doesn't have this same integral kind of breakdown slide lock here, but the one thing about this is the LCP II, if you look at the profile of what the slide lock looks like on this, the LCP II, it's basically low profile at all. This is kind of big and bulky, which is another thing one thing I don't like about it. It's kind of neat that it's just one lever that serves two purposes on this pistol. But if you compare that to the LCP II, there's no bulk added here. There's a little small slide lock on the side, and then there's just a pin. And in all honesty, that pin is no more difficult to pop out than what this thing is. So yeah, that's it. It's like I said, I wouldn't say this is a bad buy. Now that I have the LCP II, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily keep it. I do, you know, have some investment put into this, but in my opinion, if I just sold it and then I went out and resold the mags on the secondary market, I can recoup some of what I put into this, and it's still not a bad. I haven't wasted much money. I can't believe I didn't grab the holster, but I do carry this with in the pocket with a DeSantis Superfly. I like that pocket holster, but it's not dissimilar from a lot of other options out there. So yeah, that's it. So what do you think? Are you a Kahr CW380 lover? Do you think I'm crazy for even buying this in the first place and putting all the time and effort through it? You know, it's, you know, 400 rounds of 380 ACP trying to get this thing up to snuff is a bit of a, you know, it's not cheap. You know, it's close to 20 rounds a box of 50. So, you know, let me know what you think. You know, leave some comments, you know, you can even subscribe to my channel and hear some more rambling videos as I talk about some of the guns I own. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.